Isn't that illegal?
This video is a little bit about intelligent design. It's not a lot about intelligent design because there's too much said about intelligent design. I don't want to go into any big detail about it. But anyway, basically what intelligent design is saying that you just have to look at the universe to know that it was intelligently designed. The evidence is all there, and an intelligent designer made it, and of course they won't say that it's God, but that's what they mean. It's God. So one of the things that has been said to me recently is, look at a house, look at how it's made. It was obviously intelligently designed. As it's a house, it was made by humans, but humans made it intelligently, designed it. But then they extrapolate that on a bigger scale, then they say, look at the universe. Surely that was intelligently designed as well. And what I'm going to do is, as I say, I'm not going to go into any kind of evolution versus intelligent design debate. I just want to talk a little about the phrase that I've just mentioned. The fact that you just have to look at something to know it's intelligently designed. Okay, got some props. Here is a house brick. Used for building houses, which I've just mentioned. It's man-made, obviously. It looks man-made. It's got a very bricky feel to it. Man-made. We all know that man makes bricks for building houses, and there's no question about it. That is a man-made brick. Okay, so you just have to look at it. It's intelligently designed by a man. Fair enough. Okay, there's a rock. So just picked up from the garden, which isn't man-made. So obviously it's not man-made. It's in fact it's a bit of foundations from a wall and building outside. It's rock-shaped. It's irregular. It's not man-made. Okay, no problem with that. Put that to one side. Okay. Here's a pebble. Now, does this look man-made or not? It's smooth, which might be man-made. Could be artificial, could be man-made. But we know that pebbles can be worn down by the sea. Although I don't live near the sea. I know that it's a natural pebble from the beach. Okay, so that's a pebble. So we've looked at three things, and we're pretty sure where they came from. The brick, man-made. Rock was natural. Pebble was natural, although it was made smooth by the sea, so wasn't as rough as the rock. There is a problem with that. There's the rock again. This rock is not actually a rock. It is man-made. God didn't have anything to do with it. He didn't make it when he made the universe. I made this rock, and in fact it's made out of concrete. That's cement, sand and aggregate all mixed together, a bit of water, aggregate and it's gravel. So I could have a close-up look at the gravel in it. You can see bits of gravel in there. But when you first looked at it, it didn't look like it was intelligently designed. Obviously, it's not a brilliant design. It's just a sort of lump of concrete, but it's just a piece left over from, as I say, it's from the foundations of the wall that I was building, and this is just a bit that was broken off and put to one side. And it didn't look intelligently designed, unless of course you were thinking that God was the intelligent designer. And okay. So what I've told you wasn't entirely true. Okay, what about the pebble? It looks smooth, looks like a pebble, and it looks smooth because I made it smooth. It is in fact some clay from the garden, which occurs naturally in my garden, and I made it into a pebble shape, and I smoothed it down, and it's made out of clay. Okay. Anyway, the point I'm making is that just by looking at something, you can't tell if it's intelligently designed. You have to investigate. You have to look at the evidence, and that's what science does. It looks at evidence. It provides explanation for where things come from. And science says they didn't come from God. There is no intelligent designer. Science is pretty 100% certain on that. Another point, one last point, everything in the Bible was written a long time ago by men who weren't scientists. They were just ordinary people. So how do you know those men were right? They could have been telling you lies, just like I was telling you lies about the pebble and the rock, which were artificial. So could the people who wrote the Bible have been mistaken? Could they have been lying to you? I've just told you that that's made out of clay. I was lying. It's not clay. It is a pebble. So I told you it was a pebble, then I told you it was clay. Now I'm telling you it's a pebble. So I was lying again. So you can't believe what anybody tells you. You can't believe what anything's written down. If I died before I told you that was really a pebble, you could have never looked into it. You'd never have investigated it, and you'd have believed that I made it from clay, and you'd have no evidence to tell you otherwise that was clay. So if you can't check the facts, and if there is no evidence, and you can't form a scientific hypothesis, or even a scientific theory for which you do need facts and evidence, and that's why intelligent design isn't science, and why creationism isn't science. Both of these tell you that God did it, but they don't tell you how, and they don't provide you with any evidence whatsoever, not even a tiny scrap, not a tiny particle of data. Nothing provable, nothing that you can reproduce, nothing that you can use as a scientific thesis or any sort of scientific method to prove that there was an intelligent designer or is an intelligent designer out there. So what you need to do is just make up your own mind. And meanwhile, you remember the pebble, which was clay, which wasn't clay, which was a pebble. It is in fact chocolate, and I'm going to eat it. See ya. Or maybe I'm not.
Isn't that illegal?
Censor your kids' ideas. Censor your child's inspiration. Censor all that. Expect a really heavy return spring, because you know what? That kid's going to turn her on you, and you're never ever going to have a part of his life again.
Casting off the chains of the world.
But enough about me.